stop having people move to Austin. We don't need any more people here in Austin. And this might surprise a lot of people, and I know I'm gonna hear about it in the comments. I think you could literally go to 1 or 2 restaurants a day for the next year or 2 and not go to the same restaurant twice. What are the good and bad things about living in Austin, Texas? I get that question all the time from clients that are looking to relocate here to Austin. Now, everybody has their own opinion about what the good and the bad can be. Today, I decided to make a video of the pros and cons of living in Austin, Texas. Today, we're gonna start with the cons. Number 1 is traffic. Traffic has been an issue for a really long time. Austin was built to not be such a large city as it is growing into today. So with the amount of people that continue to move here, they have had to build more housing, build more highways, extend the highways, widen the highways, and it is a constant construction area which causes traffic. I'm gonna kind of go over the layout of the highways. On the east side of Austin, you have 130 that runs north and south, down into the south end of Kyle and Buda area, and then all the way up to Hutto and Taylor. That is the fastest speed limit highway that we have here in the Austin area, and it kind of runs around Austin. So it's an easy way to commute into Austin if you live on the east side, or a easy commuted highway if you're, say, coming from the airport or live on that east side, whether it's north or south. Then we've got Mopac, or Loop 1, but most people call it Mopac, and that runs on the west side of Austin. Mopac runs down into the south end of Austin and goes all the way up into the north end of Austin, and it also has the Mopac Tollway Express Lane. It's an easy way to get on the west side of downtown without having to get on the major highway. And then you've got 45 that runs on the north end and on the south end, east and west of Austin. And then you've got 183 that runs all the way out to Liberty Hill and Leander area and comes down into the north central area of Austin. And then you've got the wonderful I-35. So I-35 is the main highway that runs all the way through Texas. It runs all the way down to the south end of Texas and to the north end of Texas, and is a major trafficked highway. I-35 is constantly under construction, so they are continuing to have to expand, and we are about to see a very large expansion of 35. I mentioned this in one of my other videos, that they are going to try to build 35 to where you can easily access east and west of the downtown areas, and also make some pedestrian bike lanes to make it more walkable and bike friendly. The traffic is not great here, but it's also not nearly as congested as a larger city like LA, San Francisco, New York City. So as we continue to see the growth, we are going to continue to see the traffic and the construction all in one. All right, number 2, we are looking at taxes. Some people know we do not have state taxes in Texas, which helps as far as the income taxes, but we do have higher property taxes here. Property taxes typically range between 2 and 4% depending on where your property is located, what type of development that you're in, and what schools are also in the area, because one of the highest taxes that is built into the property taxes is school taxes. So even though, you know, our property taxes are higher here, if you look at $1 million home in like California, or you look at $1 million or $2 million home in like New York City or Manhattan, you can definitely get more for your money here in Austin proper, or even more if you are okay with living on the outskirts of Austin. We have many suburbs that you can get a home for in the $300,000 and $400,000 range within Austin, and also within 25 to 45 minutes away from Austin, you can live in a really awesome suburb city that's obviously a lot more affordable than Austin. And then also think about the sales tax is 8.25% here. Now, depending on where you're coming from, that may be high, that could be low. You know, we still are a lot more affordable than California and New York. But if you're coming from a smaller state, a less populated state, yes, our taxes are probably higher than what you're used to. It's something to think about when you're moving to Austin. All right, number 3 is weather. Some people love Austin's weather, and some people have left Austin because of the weather. Austin and Texas overall is a very hot state, as most of you probably know. We do not see many winters here. We don't see a whole lot of fall. We don't see really 4 seasons. We really have like summer and kind of fall. The temperatures this year are very different from last year. This July was very rainy. The temperatures didn't really break 100 until now in August. Last year we saw 110, 115 the last couple years. Now the cool thing about being in central Texas is we don't really get the crazy storms and the crazy weather. We have seen, we had a huge freeze a couple years ago, but overall, being in central Texas, we are kind of covered as far as seeing like the crazy weather like Houston gets and Dallas gets as far as like snow, Houston getting the crazy amounts of rain and flooding. We don't see a whole lot of flooding here in the Austin area. Again, we have had some off years and have seen flooding happen, but it's one in very many years do we ever see the crazy weather coming through Austin. So that's pretty cool, comparable to a lot of other Texas cities. Last one before we get into the pros, construction. I touched on this just a little bit when I was talking about traffic, but with Austin developing the way it is and how rapidly this city is growing, we are bound to see construction. You have tons of highways that are under construction. They're trying to widen side roads, they're trying to add bike lanes, they're trying to add pedestrian lanes. The cool thing about Austin is that they are super bike friendly and they are trying to build as many trails and bike system as they can to keep bike riders safe. 35 is about to see one of the largest projects probably that we'll ever see, at least in my generation. They are about to widen 35 and it's going to be a huge project. They're going to do it in sections, but we will see a mass amount of construction, which also flows into traffic between the downtown area and the south end of downtown. 183 is under construction, over by the airport is under construction, Butte-Kyle area is under construction, and again, depending on the areas, speak to your realtor before you move to the area because this can cause more traffic. Whether you want to be close to, in proximity of Austin or different things, really understand the highway systems and how you want your commute to be can really depend on what area of Austin is probably best for you. All right, we are on to the pros, starting with number one. And this might surprise a lot of people, and I know I'm gonna hear about it in the comment, but affordability. Austin is more affordable than a lot of other major cities. If you look at New York, you look at most major cities in California, you look at the Seattle area, you look at these major cities, and we are still a lot more affordable as Austin continues to grow. Austin is no longer a 500,000 person population. We are over 1 million people here in Austin proper. We are over 2 million people here in the Austin suburbs. That reaches all the way from Georgetown down into San Marcos. Prices spiked due to 2020 and 2021 market when the rates came down really low. We saw a huge spike in price, but since the rates have came up over the last couple of years, we have seen a slowdown, and we've also seen the prices adjust to being more affordable. So if you're looking at purchasing in Austin proper, you're definitely looking at, at a minimum $400,000 to $500,000, depending on the area. Now you can still get a house in the 3s and 400,000 in the suburbs, whether it's Kyle, Butte, Georgetown, Round Rock. There are a lot of affordability developments going in all over the Austin area. So if you want to hear more about the affordability program, I am going to do a separate video on that. There are certain pockets of Austin that already are implementing this program. You have to have a certain amount of income. There's a cap of what you can earn as an individual or as a family, whether you're looking to rent or own. There are programs here in Austin to help with the affordability. All right, for the second one, we have cost of living. Again, this might be a shocker to some, and it kind of ties in with the affordability. Yes, Austin is more expensive, but you've got the suburbs of Austin that can be a lot more affordable, and it really depends on what's important to you. Is it the entertainment? Is it the shopping? Is it the restaurants? Do you need to be close to Austin? Are you okay with being in a suburb that has its own downtown area and its own developments and its own shopping? There's so many different areas that are expanding around Austin that are making the cost of living a lot cheaper than it is in Austin proper. They're doing a really great job at expanding the suburbs to make them more affordable and the cost of living be a lot more affordable than actually living in the city of Austin. All right, number 3 is the job market. So the job market is really healthy here in Austin and the surrounding areas. There are tons of major companies moving to Austin. There's tons of major companies that have already made their footprints here in Austin. There's Amazon, Google, Facebook, Tesla. They just announced Chevron. They're building another Buc-ee's in the San Marcos area. And the cool thing is that they're creating more jobs. So for instance, like Buc-ee's is partnering with San Marcos, and San Marcos says, yes, we will give you a grant and we'll give you a loan to come here and build Buc-ee's, but you must create 100+ jobs. And to me, that's awesome for a small city like San Marcos, which is also a college town, that they are creating jobs, not just in Austin, but in surrounding areas of Austin. No matter what industry, whether it's a warehouse, whether it's tech, film industry, there's so many jobs that are coming to Austin and creating the job market to continue to stay really healthy. Our unemployment rate is below the national average, and it is bringing people here to Austin. And with these jobs coming, we'll continue to keep Austin a healthy economic city. All right, the next one we're gonna speak about is probably my favorite and maybe some of y'all's favorite. It is food. I'm a foodie. I love food. And there are tons of amazing restaurants all over Austin and in the suburbs. It really depends on what you think good food is, but there's great food everywhere. Yes, I think Houston has a bit of a larger food scene, but again, they are 2 or 3 times the size of Austin. But as Austin continues to grow, we have some amazing chefs that are from here locally that have opened up restaurants. We have chefs that have moved from major cities and countries that are putting their footprint in restaurants here in Austin. And there's such a diverse scene when it comes to food. Whether it's an amazing hamburger or some really great pizza, to the high-end steaks, to Cajun food, to Thai food. There's just so many different restaurants here in Austin. I think you could literally go to 1 or 2 restaurants a day for the next year or 2 and not go to the same restaurant twice. Another thing that I love about Austin and even the suburbs of Austin is the food trucks. You know, some people want to keep the concept small, or, you know, because Austin is expensive for not just residential, but for commercial, that they want to test drive their food in their restaurant before they decide to build a brick and mortar. And there's some amazing food trucks that have lines out the door that are just so good. They have them all over, and I just think it's a really cool thing because you don't see food trucks like you do in Austin in other major cities. Also, if you're gluten-free or vegan, Austin has done a great job for having options for both. There is like a whole vegan area. If you go to almost any restaurant here in Austin, they cater to gluten-free, whether it's an allergy, whether it's a lifestyle. People love to work out here, people love to eat healthy, and there's so many different healthy options here in just the Austin area in general. Here for the last one, another one of my favorites, and it's entertainment. There are so many things to do in Austin, and I think it's really one of the reasons why people locate here to Austin. Whether you're looking to grab a really great drink, hike and bike, paddleboard, kayak, listen to live music. There's so many things to do all over Austin. Whether you're looking to hang out downtown or the Domain, which is in the north end of Austin, there's the South Congress area that has developed tremendously over the last few years with some really great restaurant concepts. St. Elmo area has distilleries and wineries and breweries. And another great thing about Austin is if you're into sports, we've got some pretty cool sport teams here. We have the Austin FC Stadium, which is some fantastic soccer to watch. We have the Austin Spurs, which is the local basketball team. We've got a hockey team here that plays in the Cedar Park area. And then, of course, the Texas Longhorns. They are so much fun to watch, whether it's on TV, whether it's at the actual stadiums, or whether you're tailgating downtown, which is tons of fun. Everybody throws up tents, they put their own TVs up, they grill food. It's just like a really large block party. So Depending on what you're into, there's so many different things to do in Austin. And if you're looking to make new friends here in Austin, a really great way to be involved is the Austin Sports and Social, or SportsKind. Those are two really great companies that host sports all over town. They've got courts everywhere. It's really great, and I am actually involved in a couple different ones, and I've met so many amazing people that I have continued to be friends with. So if you're looking to get out there and meet people, those are some really awesome ways to meet new friends. So that's the pros and cons of living in Austin, Texas. I hope this gives you a clear picture of what it's like to live in Austin, and if this is the right city for you, whether it's Austin proper or the Austin suburbs. I would love to help you navigate the market and find the perfect area for you and your family. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe to this channel, or share it with somebody that you know that's looking to move to the Austin area. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments or reach out to me on my cell phone. My number is going to be here on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next.